There are overrated rivalries, underrated rivalries, and rivalries that capture the national conversation. And then there are rivalries like Pittsburgh versus Syracuse. No trophy to play for, no deep-seated hatred. Perhaps it's a rivalry that's stuck in neutral. But there are few rivalries in college football that are so evenly matched, going back and forth in the early days with longer ebbs and flows in the latter half. The Orange and the Panthers feature a real history, as this one has been played annually since 1955. Migrating with each other from conference to conference, we'll break down the best from Syracuse and Pitt on this episode of Stadium Rivals. Syracuse hosted the first matchup in 1916 and was promptly shellacked by Pittsburgh 30-0. Pitt coach Walter Camp had high praise for his team, saying, "This team's play is perfect. They are a most wonderful team. Pitt is a marvelous combination, the greatest 11 in America." Pittsburgh is the only school to claim a national title that year, despite the official NCAA Division I football records book listing the Panthers and Army as co-champions. After going 4-1-1 in the first 6 matchups in this rivalry, Syracuse and Pitt met at Yankee Stadium in 1923, the first college football game played at the old ballpark. All-American end Pete McCray led the Orange defense to a school record 7 consecutive shutouts that season, one of them being the 3-0 win at Babe Ruth's home field. Perhaps Syracuse's greatest season in its history came in 1959. Ben Schwartzwalder, in his 11th season as head coach, led the Independent Orange to an undefeated season and their first and only national championship. Starting the season unranked, the Orange came into the 6th game of the year against Pitt ranked number 5 and completely demolished the Panthers on their home field, 35-0. The following year, the Panthers had revenge on their minds. Syracuse was again undefeated, ranked number 1 in the country, and looking to win back-to-back national titles. Running back Ernie Davis, who in 1961 became the first African-American to win the Heisman Trophy, struggled mightily against Pitt's stout defense. The 10-0 Pitt shutout snapped Cuse's 22-game win streak. In 1965, the rivalry returned to New York City, this time at Shea Stadium. The three-headed backfield of Floyd Little, Larry Zonka, and Tom Coughlin made sure the Orange would come out victorious. Little's 95-yard touchdown run cemented a 51-13 rout. Pittsburgh claims 9 national titles in school history, 1976 being the most recent. Number 2 Pittsburgh hosted the rivalry that season, and despite a strong push from the Orange, Pitt came away with a 23-13 win. Led by future number 2 NFL draft pick Tony Dorsett, the Panthers grabbed a win in the 1977 Sugar Bowl to become consensus national champs. With its starting kicker scratched from the game and the backup missing 2 early field goals, in walked Pitt kicker Pat Viancourt, a freshman walk-on, with 11 seconds left on the clock in a 10-10 game in 1983. All Viancourt did was drill a 43-yarder and give Pitt a 13-10 victory. The win was Pitt's 11th straight in the rivalry. The post-game reports called it the most gut-wrenching game Syracuse had ever played. Despite 4 fumbles, 2 interceptions, 9 penalties, and a Pitt 10-point lead, the Orange had a hero. Junior halfback David Walker scored 4 times, including the game winner with 9 seconds left to lift Syracuse to a 31-27 win. By 1992, Syracuse and Pitt would join the Big East after spending most of their existence as independents. Those early Big East years belonged to Cuse, as the Orange won 11 straight rivalry games from 1991 to 2001. Syracuse QB Donovan McNabb would never lose to Pittsburgh in his tenure, and in 1998, he threw for 228 yards and 2 scores and ran for 98 more on the ground and another touchdown to help the Orangemen win 45-28. In 2013, Syracuse and Pitt joined the ACC, becoming cross-conference rivals with the Orange in the Atlantic and the Panthers in the Coastal Division. Pitt needed a win to become bowl eligible that year, and a 5-yard TD run by Isaac Bennett was just enough to give the Panthers a 17-16 victory. Since joining the ACC, Pitt has gone 5-1 over Cuse heading into the 2019 season. The 2016 game was literally one for the record books. Final score, Pitt 76, Syracuse 61. The 137 combined points still holds the record as the most scored in a regulation NCAA and FBS game. The 76 points allowed were the most ever given up by Syracuse. Orange QB Zach Mahoney threw 5 touchdowns, all to wide receiver Etta-Tawo in the record-breaking ACC showdown. See? That's a pretty good history. Despite being across the division aisle, Pitt-Syracuse is alive and well in the ACC. The overall record has Pitt boasting about its 39-32-3 edge heading into 2019. Both teams are looking to establish a foothold in their conference divisions, making the Panthers and Orange a game with plenty of ACC implications. It's a long-running and, yes, a history-making rivalry, perfect for a spot on Stadium Rivals.